On behalf of AECF again, I would like to welcome you to Dar es Salaam. Karibuni sana. There is about 6 countries represented, largely what we call the wider East Africa. So as AECF, we provide catalytic funding. We invest where others are not ready to invest. Initially, as most of you would know, AECF was actually started to fund innovative business ideas across the continent. Specifically for this forum, DFID has provided a lot of financing for the Tanzania projects, as well as Sweden. And we are glad that with the support of those 2 entities, we've been able to get businesses, work with those businesses over the years that we've worked with them. And we are here today saying to the investors, these are businesses that are ready to attract the next level of financing. So the whole essence of the investor forum is to say, here are some rough diamonds that have been in the rough, are ready now for the follow-on investing.
AECF is fully committed to make sure that we support as many businesses as we can, but also continue to link businesses to the investors where necessary and where we are able to do such forums like this.
Our objective here today is to bring a mix of financiers onto the panel, from commercial banking, funds, someone who kind of sits in the middle of all that, to try and just understand a little bit more about how their process vary, what their expectations are, etc. My first question is to talk about, a little bit about your experience in SME financing, where your focus is, and then maybe, highlight one key success factor you've seen in SME financing over the years.
Being an impact investor, we look for both commercial yields and social impact yields.
Our target is SMEs that are looking to grow. We don't look at smaller businesses and not too big businesses, but somewhere in the middle that are looking to go to the next stage. The reason why that is important to us is because the status quo of humanity in East Africa is what it is because there have not been sufficient disruption. So we look for disruptive business models, businesses that are transformatory, and businesses that generally would lead to some form of a transformation of how things are done. We are in all sectors: manufacturing, education, health, agri. Agri is one of our key sectors, of course, because of the impact that it creates. In Tanzania, we're also looking at logistics business, and we are open to look at any other business. I've met a number of people. It seems like seed business is big in Tanzania, so that's also something that we could look at. We've looked at businesses that deal with fruits and horticulture also.
Where is the area that you find to be the biggest weakness or struggle in your deal flow that often, cuts out the biggest chunk that never make it to the finish line? So that when these folks are looking at how to present themselves, how to strengthen certain things in their businesses, what's that area that they can really focus on to set themselves apart and hopefully make it over that finish line?
You can look at it from entrepreneurs' side, SMEs, but you can also look at it from the delivery service channel, which is as a bank. But we still have issues for turnaround time. You apply today, probably you get feedback after 14 days, or probably more than that. Sometimes it happens. Lastly, the process for making a credit application is critical, and we find some of the small SMEs who lack knowledge on how to do it.
What is also very important, and I think to cement on that, is what he has mentioned in terms of getting the wrong money, because the moment you have the wrong money or you have the wrong funding, then what happens is just a year down the line you're supposed to start repaying the loan, and then your business is struggling. So I think it is very, very, very important to go through your business model and of course your business plan. Review it, do the due diligence like what he has mentioned, because I think that's what we have faced on our side.
Investees, one of the things that you need to have is integrity. So regardless of how brilliant your idea is, if you don't have integrity as a person, it's going to be very difficult for you to raise money from anybody. So work on that at the back of your mind.
So now we are moving into the session where we want to also hear from the entrepreneurs. Let's see what they have in stock for us. Let's see whether their business is good enough, interesting for potential investors.
Pedigree is an agri-tech company, and we are an information technology company. And what we do is we help manufacturers and producers to protect their brands against fakes, counterfeits, and diversions.
We at Virtual City do is that we automate supply chains, and we concentrate mostly on the food value chain. So what we have done is over the years we have automated different levels of the supply chain, which is what happens at the field activity, what happens at the buying centers, inventory control at the warehouses, tracking what happens at a processor with regards to packaging, distribution, and all the way down to retail.
Dairy farming in Tanzania is an area where investors should go into, because a lot of farmers now, a lot of even young entrepreneurs are moving into dairy farming because they see an opportunity. We import a lot of milk, more than 10 million worth of milk. And now the government has banned the importation of milk, so everybody is going to dairy farming.
We have one of our projects that was funded by AECF in Kisarawe. Now, currently, as you can see, the women are doing manual bagging of 5 kg bags. It's controlled environment, but we would like to ask for a proposal in a more automated bagging facility.
Coffee is a long-term crop. It's not your everyday crop. And for the people who have stayed with coffee, I think what they have done is understood the dynamics around it. Our volumes are, compared to global stocks, are not enough to really make an impact on price. As much as we have good quality, we are known the world over for having specialty coffee, but in terms of volumes, they're very small that we end up being a price taker.
When we started, there was no refrigerated transport, really, from Rwanda into Kenya. So it's actually really a difficult product to get to its destination in good condition. So by air, let's go back to the air, because that's how we started. It can be okay. We've had a number of instances where by air it went just fine, but then most of the time it doesn't. And then we put temporary because the product arrives and it's not in very good condition. It could be due because, say, a flight got canceled or they decide arbitrarily. We have to share with luggage, so they're small planes, so they have to they arbitrarily change or flight or things like that. That's really annoying when somebody is waiting for them at the other end. The truth is, it eats up a lot of our margin. Several times the truck that we use has been broken down for 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know if it's broken down or the guy decides he doesn't have traffic both ways and he'd rather not do it and he makes up a story.
The need to have an additional financing for businesses to grow and to scale out the businesses to reach more rural people at the bottom of the pyramid is what prompted AECF to convene an investment forum whereby investees or businesses that are looking for more investments and the investors that are looking to put more investment into good use would convene and actually match make some deals or look for opportunities that could be co-created to expand the businesses and grow the economy. And that's what we call the day room creations.
I attended the AECF investment forum because we have been part of the investee group of the forum. Since 2012, we have had a good journey. We've seen a lot of benefits with the farmers that we worked with.
My greatest takeaway is been more on collaboration, how we can partner with fellow entrepreneurs, especially across the borders.
AECF is currently funding Pedigree on a project of serialization, whereby there's a lot of fake seeds in the market. So the AECF funds helps us to secure this.
The Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund forum for me is a connection or a reconnection between investors and investees. I think the Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund is one of those organizations that truly understands the need of investees. And the fund has been created in such a way that they meet the basic need of the entrepreneur. And therefore, any association between entrepreneurs and AECF is of interest to us. We know they do a thorough job. They invest early stage, high risk capital that catalyzes capital like ours to be corralled into the business at some point. So I think it was opportune for me to come and see the good deeds of the Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund and how much work they have done with these investees, and I've been very, very impressed. I am impressed at the quality of investees, their depth and understanding of the need for capital and the type of capital they need. In my view, I think the entrepreneurs know what they want, and I think they will make a good match for whichever investor invests in these businesses when they're ready.
We really appreciate AECF and all that they do, and that they've been very supportive of New Horizons and have enabled us a lot in the work that we do.